Welcome to our countdown of the 11 most dangerous diseases cited by scientists across the globe for 2025. In the intricate tapestry of life where every thread is interconnected, the emergence and spread of disease represent a profound challenge to the delicate balance of our world. These are not merely microscopic adversaries. They are forces that can shape societies, strain our healthcare systems, and remind us of our shared vulnerability. Yet within this challenge lies an extraordinary testament to human ingenuity and resilience. As we embark on this journey, we will delve into the very nature of these threats. We will explore the complex factors that contribute to their danger, from the relentless evolution of pathogens and the growing shadow of antimicrobial resistance, to the far-reaching impacts of a changing climate and the intricate web of global interconnectedness that can turn a localized outbreak into a worldwide concern. It is a sobering exploration, but one that is essential for our understanding. But this is not a tale of despair. For every threat, there is a counter-response, a beacon of human endeavor. Stay with us as we explore why these diseases are deemed dangerous and what hope lies ahead. We will uncover the tireless work of researchers, the dedication of healthcare professionals, and the innovative strategies being developed to protect communities and forge a healthier future for all inhabitants of this remarkable planet. Our journey begins with a rather enigmatic adversary, one that carries the placeholder name Disease X. This term, coined by the World Health Organization, represents the disquieting acknowledgement that a serious international epidemic could be caused by a pathogen currently unknown to cause human disease. Its danger lies precisely in this anonymity, this lack of prior acquaintance. We cannot predict its specific characteristics, its mode of transmission, or its virulence with any certainty, making proactive development of targeted countermeasures such as vaccines or treatments an immense challenge. Preparedness, therefore, must be broad, flexible, and ever vigilant. The potential for Disease X to emerge stems from the vast, largely unexplored microbial world and the increasing interactions between humans and wildlife, often driven by ecological disruption. A novel virus, perhaps leaping from an animal reservoir, could possess a combination of traits: high transmissibility, significant severity, and an ability to evade initial immune responses that would allow it to spread rapidly in a naive human population. This is why global surveillance systems, rapid diagnostic capabilities, and robust public health infrastructures are not merely important. They are our first line of defense against such an unforeseen, yet statistically probable, threat. Next, we turn our attention to a more familiar yet persistently alarming threat: avian influenza, specifically the H5N1 strain. For decades, this virus has circulated predominantly in wild bird populations and poultry, causing devastating outbreaks in avian species. Its danger to humans, while currently limited by inefficient human-to-human transmission, is profound. The concern arises from the virus's potential to mutate or reassort with human influenza strains, acquiring the ability to spread easily between people while retaining its high pathogenicity. Such an event could trigger a pandemic of severe respiratory illness with potentially catastrophic consequences. The mortality rate observed in human cases of H5N1, though sporadic, has been alarmingly high, often exceeding 50%. This inherent severity underscores the critical need for continuous monitoring of poultry and wild bird populations, strict biosecurity measures in farming, and the ongoing development of pre-pandemic vaccine candidates. The interface between animal and human health, what we call One Health, is paramount here. Understanding the ecological drivers of viral spillover and strengthening veterinary public health systems are crucial components in mitigating the risk posed by this ever-present specter, a silent watcher in the natural world. We now confront a different kind of menace, not a single pathogen, but a phenomenon that empowers many antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. This occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites evolve over time and no longer respond to medicines, making infections harder to treat and increasing the risk of disease spread, severe illness, and death. Common infections such as pneumonia, tuberculosis, or sepsis are becoming increasingly untreatable as the antibiotics and other antimicrobial drugs we rely upon lose their efficacy. The danger of AMR is insidious. It is a slow-burning crisis, a silent pandemic that threatens to unravel many of the medical advancements of the past century. The drivers of AMR are multifaceted, ranging from the overuse and misuse of antimicrobials in human and animal health to inadequate infection prevention and control measures and a lack of new antibiotic development. By 2025, the cumulative impact of AMR is projected to cause significant global mortality and economic damage, potentially pushing millions into extreme poverty due to catastrophic healthcare costs and loss of productivity. Addressing this requires a concerted global effort, promoting responsible antimicrobial stewardship, investing in research for new treatments and diagnostics, and improving sanitation and hygiene to prevent infections in the first place. Our fourth concern is extensively drug-resistant tuberculosis, or XDRTB, a formidable variant of an ancient disease. Tuberculosis itself remains one of the world's deadliest infectious killers, but XDRTB presents an even graver challenge. This form of the disease is resistant to at least 4 of the core anti-TB drugs, including the 2 most potent first-line drugs and at least 2 of the 3 second-line injectable drugs. This severely limits treatment options, often leaving patients with lengthy, toxic, and expensive regimens that have a much lower chance of success. The danger of XDRTB lies in its difficulty to treat and its potential to spread, particularly in vulnerable populations. The emergence of XDRTB is a man-made problem, largely a consequence of improper or incomplete treatment of drug-susceptible or multi-drug resistant TB, poor infection control, and the lack of new effective anti-TB drugs for many decades. Patients with XDRTB face prolonged suffering, high mortality rates, and can transmit this highly resistant strain to others, perpetuating a cycle of difficult-to-cure illness. The fight against XDR-TB demands strengthened TB control programs, rapid diagnostic tools to identify resistance patterns quickly, investment in new drug development, and robust patient support systems to ensure adherence to complex treatment plans. It may seem surprising to find measles on a list of most dangerous diseases for 2025, given the existence of a highly effective vaccine. Yet this incredibly contagious viral illness is making an alarming resurgence in various parts of the world, fueled primarily by declining vaccination rates. The danger of measles lies not only in its immediate symptoms, high fever, rash, cough, but in its potential for severe complications, including pneumonia, encephalitis, and long-term disability, particularly in young children and immunocompromised individuals. It is a stark reminder that scientific advancements are only effective if they are embraced and utilized. The decline in measles immunization coverage is often driven by misinformation, vaccine hesitancy, and disruptions to routine healthcare services, especially in regions affected by conflict or instability. Because measles is so contagious, even small drops in vaccination rates can lead to large outbreaks, quickly overwhelming healthcare systems and putting vulnerable populations at extreme risk. Re-establishing and maintaining high levels of population immunity through robust vaccination programs coupled with strong public health messaging to counter misinformation is absolutely vital to consigning measles back to the annals of controlled diseases, rather than allowing it to reclaim its status as a significant global threat. We now turn to dengue fever, a mosquito-borne viral infection that has seen a dramatic global expansion in recent decades. Once confined to specific tropical and subtropical regions, its geographic reach is now far wider, placing an estimated half of the world's population at risk. The primary danger of dengue lies in its potential to progress to severe dengue, a life-threatening complication characterized by plasma leakage, fluid accumulation, respiratory distress, severe bleeding, or organ impairment. Without timely and appropriate medical care, severe dengue can have a high fatality rate, particularly challenging healthcare systems in affected areas. The spread of dengue is intricately linked to climate change, which expands the habitat of its primary vectors, the Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus mosquitoes. Increased global travel and trade, along with rapid urbanization and inadequate water management, also contribute to its proliferation. While there is no specific antiviral treatment for dengue, early detection and access to proper medical care can significantly lower mortality rates of severe dengue. Hope lies in integrated vector management strategies, community engagement in mosquito control, and the development and deployment of effective dengue vaccines, some of which are now becoming available in endemic regions. Our seventh disease of concern is Nipa virus infection, a zoonotic illness that can be transmitted to humans from animals, particularly fruit bats of the Pteropodidae family, or through contaminated food, or directly from person to person. Nipa virus is alarming due to its high case fatality rate, which can range from 40% to 75%, depending on the outbreak and local healthcare capabilities. Symptoms can range from asymptomatic infection to acute respiratory illness and fatal encephalitis. The unpredictable nature of its spillover from animal reservoirs into human populations makes it a significant public health threat with pandemic potential. Outbreaks have historically occurred in South and Southeast Asia, often linked to close contact with infected pigs or consumption of date palm sap contaminated by infected fruit bats. Person-to-person transmission, particularly in healthcare settings without adequate infection control, has also been documented, raising concerns about its ability to spread more widely should it adapt further. Currently, there are no specific drugs or vaccines available for Nipah virus infection in humans. Treatment is limited to intensive supportive care. Research into vaccines and antiviral therapies is ongoing, and a One Health approach, focusing on surveillance in animal populations and reducing human exposure risk, is critical to preventing future outbreaks. Lassa Fever, an acute viral hemorrhagic illness, is endemic in parts of West Africa, primarily Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and Nigeria. It is caused by the Lassa virus, transmitted to humans through contact with food or household items contaminated with urine or feces of infected mastomys rats. While approximately 80% of people who become infected with Lassa virus have no symptoms or mild illness, the remaining 20% can develop a severe multisystem disease. The danger lies in its significant mortality rate among hospitalized patients, often around 15%, and the potential for deafness as a common sequela in survivors. The mastomys rat is ubiquitous in the regions where Lassa fever is endemic, making control challenging. Person-to-person infections can also occur, especially in healthcare settings lacking adequate infection prevention and control measures, through contact with the blood, urine, feces, or other bodily secretions of an infected person. While the antiviral drug ribavirin seems to be effective if given early in the course of illness, diagnosis can be difficult. Efforts to control Lassa fever focus on community hygiene to discourage rats from entering homes, safe food storage, and strengthening healthcare capacity for early detection and case management, alongside vital research into effective vaccines. Marburg virus disease, or MVD, is a rare but severe hemorrhagic fever that affects both people and non-human primates. It's caused by the Marburg virus, a genetically unique zoonotic RNA virus of the filovirus family, the same family as Ebola. Its danger is stark. MVD outbreaks can have case fatality rates as high as 88%, depending on virus strain and case management. Initial symptoms such as fever, severe headache, and muscle pain can quickly progress to severe watery diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, and in many cases, severe hemorrhagic manifestations. The natural reservoir of Marburg virus is believed to be the African fruit bat, Rossetus aegyptiacus. Transmission to humans occurs through prolonged exposure to mines or caves inhabited by these bat colonies. Once an individual is infected, Marburg can spread through human-to-human transmission via direct contact with the blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids of infected people, and with surfaces and materials contaminated with these fluids. There are currently no vaccines or specific antiviral treatments approved for MVD. Supportive hospital therapy, including rehydration and symptomatic treatment, improves survival. Rigorous infection control and rapid outbreak response are paramount. Chikungunya is another viral disease transmitted to humans by infected Aedes mosquitoes, primarily Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopictus, the same vectors responsible for dengue and Zika. While rarely fatal, chikungunya is notorious for causing severe, often debilitating joint pain or arthralgia that can persist for months or even years in a significant proportion of cases. This chronic joint pain can lead to substantial loss of quality of life and long-term disability, imposing a considerable socioeconomic burden on affected communities. Its danger lies in its rapid spread and the prolonged morbidity it inflicts. Originating in Africa, chikungunya has now spread to Asia, Europe, and the Americas, causing large-scale outbreaks. The symptoms typically include an abrupt onset of fever and severe joint pain, often accompanied by muscle pain, headache, nausea, fatigue, and rash. There is no specific antiviral drug treatment for chikungunya. Care is focused on relieving symptoms. Prevention and control rely heavily on reducing mosquito breeding sites and protecting individuals from mosquito bites. The development of effective vaccines is a priority, with several candidates in clinical trials offering hope for better control of this widespread and incapacitating illness. Finally, we address the growing concern of invasive fungal infections, exemplified by pathogens like Candida auris. This particular yeast can cause severe bloodstream infections, wound infections, and ear infections, and is particularly dangerous because it is often multi-drug resistant, meaning it is difficult to treat with commonly used antifungal medications. It can also be challenging to identify with standard laboratory methods, leading to delays in appropriate treatment, and it can persist on surfaces in healthcare settings, leading to outbreaks. Its danger lies in its stealth, its resistance, and its ability to prey on the most vulnerable. Candida auris primarily affects patients who are already sick in hospitals and nursing homes, especially those with weakened immune systems, who have recently had surgery, or who have invasive medical devices like catheters or breathing tubes. The rise of drug-resistant fungal infections globally is a serious public health threat, compounded by a limited arsenal of antifungal drugs and the slow pace of new drug development. Heightened surveillance, stringent infection prevention and control measures in healthcare facilities, and investment in research for new antifungal agents and rapid diagnostics are crucial to combat this emerging and resilient class of pathogens. As our exploration of these 11 formidable diseases concludes, it is clear that the challenges to global health are complex and ever-evolving. From the unforeseen emergence of novel pathogens to the resurgence of familiar foes and the creeping threat of antimicrobial resistance, the delicate balance of health can often seem precarious. The interconnectedness of our world, while a source of great strength, also provides pathways for these threats to traverse continents with astonishing speed. Yet, this journey has also illuminated a powerful counter-narrative, one of human resilience, unwavering scientific curiosity, and the profound capacity for collective action. For every challenge presented by these diseases, there are dedicated individuals and institutions working tirelessly to understand, to innovate, and to protect. The advancements in genomics, vaccine development, diagnostics, and public health strategies offer tangible pathways towards mitigating these risks and building a more secure future. Thank you for watching. Remember, while these diseases pose significant challenges, scientific advancements and global cooperation offer hope for a healthier future. The path ahead requires sustained investment in research, a commitment to strengthening healthcare systems globally, and an understanding that the health of one is intrinsically linked to the health of all. It calls for vigilance, for cooperation across borders, and for a shared responsibility in fostering environments that promote well-being. Stay informed, stay safe, and stay hopeful. The future of our planet's health depends not just on the brilliance of our scientists, but on the choices and actions of each one of us.